Hey guys, welcome with this third episode of Knickknacks Coffee Table. Today we will talking with Saskia Faelens. She has experience with energy healing, fascia therapy, body work, and she's channeling as well. And in this way, she really is cultivating like her own holistic way of healing. And she is one of the few people actually that I've met in Belgium who were really serious with this and really pushed through some mind-blowing results. If we look back at it in this episode, it was amazing. So I would say go and check the episode out and really enjoy it. Be amazed about it, and I hope there is all a little bit of wisdom for you all as well who are on this path and trying to develop their own unique, authentic medicine and way through life. Yeah. So yeah, have a good one, and don't forget to subscribe and like. And yes, thank you for all your support. Love you all. Bye. No,
Got it.
there we go. Hello,
We can.
Saskia. How are
Hello.
you doing today?
Well, hot. It's I think one of the first days that it's approximately, I think, 17 degrees outside, and I'm not used to it. So I was like fully packed with sweaters, and now I'm like,
Embracing
fine,
spring
fine. So
again.
I'm warmed up for this conversation.
Nice, sweet. Well, would you like to tell us a little bit about you and what you do in your daily life?
Okay, so I'm Saskia Faelens. I'm an energy healer, and I'm also a medium. I'm a medium for Irisol is the name. It's a higher intelligence. Before that, it was Aisha, and before that, it was Heros. And the two before, they were the ones who were actually learning me, to get used to the energy coming into your system. And now it's Irisol. Next to that, I do Fascia movement now, which I call SF motion. And it's like a specific way of moving in which you address your fascia. So it's like your deep tissue. But not all deep tissue is fascia, but that's very theory minded. So just so you know that if someone says, fascia is deep tissue, not all your deep tissue is fascia. Like for instance, your blood vessels, they are not fascia.
Ah,
So it's just so you know.
yeah.
I actually started to doing the fascia because I realized when I was doing Pilates, before that I was teaching Pilates, that still the root cause of the injuries that I had before was still there. And I was like, what's this? Like I thought Pilates cured everything, and now all of a sudden I'm feeling it didn't. Like I'm still blocked in certain regions, and one specific big one. And when I was starting doing fascia, which is very slow movement, but also recurrent movement, which I'm learning now with the Fascia Academy, I started to realize like, whoa, this is deep shit. So actually, I'm now in the transition of the Pilates instructor, in which everybody knows me right now, to going to actually the more softer, slow movement in which you actually become strong. It's very strange to say, but I really feel the more in tune I am, and the more my fascia is really in flow and it's fluid. It's crazy how much strength I have, way much more than before, because not everything is so tight anymore and it's grabbing onto. So I think that's actually, and next to that, I'm also doing ceramics and also a small crystal shop, but I'm looking for a second building to have a shop, and then also places where people like artists can come and have their own space to create, and then also a place where you can sit and eat and drink.
Oh,
So, but I'm looking for that right now. I hope till the end of this year that it's going to be like firmly put. So
yeah,
I
it
guess
sounds
that's
like
it.
a whole package. It's amazing. Cool.
It's I want to have everything in all, because I notice when I go to other places,
Uh,
things are missing, and it's because of that that I'm got a little bit frustrated. That I was like, okay, fuck, I'm just gonna do it myself.
yeah.
So as this center with the healings is, by the way, I'm not. I used to be like this, so not touching people. Now I'm touching all the time.
Uh-huh.
Because I know now a lot about the fascia, and through the fascia, I often can like, there it
Yeah.
is. very softly. And then I got like images or entities that I'm like, nah, it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
So everything has changed in like a period of 5 months, in which I noticed that I'm like going way much deeper and softer in
Okay.
ways.
And how do you see the change with the people that you work with in comparison to the work that you did before?
What I notice now is that the releases are way intenser, like they are more intense, and also that the people that I attract are really the people who want to work deep. Before that, it was sometimes that I was like, oh God, it's like, I'm not certain if this, there was like doubt, but now I'm like, everybody who comes in, even when they're mentally not in that state yet, I feel like, okay, they're in it. And with the releases, what I notice now, people really scream. It's like very intense. Sometimes they grab onto me and scream, and it's like, yeah, I can actually see what's happening. So that's what I mean. Like in 4 months' time, it has. Before that, I was very quiet. Everything was very quiet. I was like, now I feel this. We're working on like very the deeper dimensions I was working, but not with the physical system.
Yeah.
And as I was working in the changing from Pilates to Fascia movement and also still doing touch techniques, I started to realize there is something in touch and energetic work that is so powerful.
Yeah.
And that's why I started to do it in my healings also.
Wow. And did you ever had any more difficult experience by touching maybe some things that, yeah, you know, in our work they always say to be careful who you touch and when you touch. Like we release before we go on deep tissue processing.
Yeah, but what I have is like, you feel it.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I told you before we started with the video about the client that I entered in the waiting room and I was like, whoa, but no, we're not gonna like, no, we're gonna sit, I'm gonna take tea and we're gonna talk a little bit, because her whole energy system was imploding. And like really like a cake that you just made. Just was like this. And I was like, if I'm gonna start working on you, or you're gonna like very aggressively start to attract like physically, or it's gonna get worse. So that's why I decided to let's sit, let's have a talk. And I did do some work like for 20 minutes, but it was just like sweeping energy that was like, okay, this doesn't belong here. But I didn't go deep because I noticed that it was just way like she was not in a place to be working energetically in such a way. I had it one time when, because everything I do, I learned by myself.
Yeah.
I never had a master. I never had someone that I went to show me how it's done. But also this is my way of learning. I need to bump into wall every once in a while. And then because of that lesson, I become way much stronger and powerful in what I'm doing. It has always been like this. And I did a human design reading and they were also like, oh, you're the one who like goes and wait, what happens here? Yeah. So this is my way of learning, something I know now. And I had it in a session and I think it was the third time that someone was screaming. The thing was, I was working on 3 levels. The level where the entity was very physically like in the system that I could see it. Then the unconscious level, and then also the level where I like work more on their connection with nature, spirit. The thing was, I was so deep into the unconscious level that I didn't notice what the entity was doing. So while I was really like in the unconscious, but it's important that I'm bringing in things and so on, all of a sudden I saw that her arm was really tightening. And I already knew, okay, that's the moment that they start to like gonna release or like the tipping point. But I was like, I still have time. But I think in 1 second, she was like, and I was like, holy shit. And for those 5 seconds that I went from the one dimension to the dimension where the entity was actually not doing nice stuff, I got like everything in for 4 or 5 seconds, and it took me really a full day afterwards, and yeah, an evening and a full day to recover from it. But believe you me, after that, I never had that again. Because after that, I was really like, okay, I'm in this. What is happening here? I'm in this. It's like also with the Pilates, I often have it. We had 6 or 8 people. I don't do more than that. And in the beginning, I really had to like, okay, I'm busy with this person. But it took me some time to learn to be with one person and in the same time see all the rest.
Yeah.
And it's the same with this healing. And I didn't have that afterwards, but it was not a small slap in the face. It was
that's a proper training.
that was that was very painful. And the thing was, she was so afraid. Like you have to know, when an entity comes out of your system, all the people who come now to me, they say, I actually feel it crawling out.
Yeah.
Especially when it's an entity that is like, I don't want to go, but okay, I'll go. Something like that. But what I noticed is I only had it 2 times, that because in the unconscious I could like let them say goodbye, and that the entity and also the person was okay with that. It was such an amazing fluently relief, like no pain, no screaming, no nothing. I just immediately got that, voila, he's out. Okay, there you go. But I only had it 2 times since I started with doing these kind of healings. So it is possible, but yeah, the system is a system. You cannot say, now you behave.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. They do what they do. That's why they exist as well. Yeah.
And I also, people tell me also that practically always when it has been such an intense relief, or when I worked on a previous life and I released that energy which was stuck, all of them afterwards write me like, I don't know what you did, I cannot explain it, but it's like something is gone. And I feel more relief, or I'm not so afraid anymore for this, or it's really crazy to observe.
It's amazing to hear this, because this is something that I relate to very much with my work with plants. And then to hear this from your work in the exact same way, so I really can relate to it. And it's a wonder if you can experience this actually. That it's possible to these blocks and they don't come back. It's like, yay, gone, new step, new phase, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's awesome. Really love it. That's a beautiful work.
I have to say, there was one client, and I have the benefit that mostly when they do healings with me, they also come to the group classes for the Fascia movement. I once had a client who came in the week after, and I was like, what the fuck did you do? Like, seriously, like, it's like you're building up again. She was like making this whole black veil around her, and I was like, it's like you're preparing a ritual to invite it again. What are you doing? And it's I think after 3 days, she wrote me an email. I think I know what you meant. But that's the benefit, that I can actually, like, it's as if I can keep track, like, what's happening. Because they come every week. And I think that's also one of the reasons why they love to do the group classes, and also every once in a while do healing if they feel it's time for it.
Wow, that really sounds awesome.
The mix is perfect.
Well, and how did you discover these ways for yourself? Like, how did you come to what you're doing today? Like, as a child?
But first, very long story short, I used to be very into corporate business. I worked in firms, and I was a key account manager. Then I did sales and events, and I was a very tough businesswoman. But I didn't love myself. And also I had, especially with the last 2 jobs that I did, was I had a lot of responsibility and people that I had to say what they had to do, but I was so unhappy. And I could like feel my system like going down till the moment that I actually crashed. They call it the burnout, or what is it?
The burnout.
And I remember that after the crash, so the day after, my boyfriend was like, you should go to the doctor. And I went to the doctor, and he wanted to prescribe me antidepressants. And I was like, fuck you, I'm not taking that. I was really angry. I was like, what are you thinking? And then I made a deal with him. If I wouldn't start running, because I was a very intense runner at that time, if I didn't start running or going out in 1 month, I would take his shit pills. And yeah, then actually after 2 days, I already went out, went walking and so on. But that period actually made me realize, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm not happy, really not happy. Something's off. And yeah, then I think 2 weeks later, I decided to change everything. I sold a lot of stuff. I broke off with my boyfriend, and then everything started. I went to Southeast Asia, traveled around, and actually started this way of this process of getting to know myself.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, things started to open up, that I was talking with someone. I was like, am I feeling, what am I feeling? What is this? And I just gradually started to like ask people, like, is it true that? Is it true that? And people like responded to me. And this is actually, also people started to ask me, like, can I come to your place for a talk?
Yeah.
And it's actually, it started like that. And I remember that I was coaching in my kitchen. And then all of a sudden in a coaching, I was like, it's like, I need to place my hand or their chest. What is this? Oh, I'm going to just do that. I just actually started doing that. And then I met someone who was like, I'm going to a healer. At that time, I was already back in Belgium. I was like, oh, healer. Yeah, I heard of that in Thailand. Okay, yeah, healer. And then I started to go to a healer. Oh. And because of what I felt with that healer, I was like, yeah, getting to know myself even more. Then the second healer, because the first one, she started to become very jealous. Now I understand why. The second one, actually, at a certain point was like, I hope you realize you have something with your hands. And then I started to explore, and I started to just do, actually. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Everything is just doing.
Yeah.
My gut feeling and like the touching, for instance, now with the healing, I started doing because I noticed in the Fascia movement that everybody wanted to do personal trainings. And after 3 exercises, I was like, can you lay on the mat? So it also started by doing. So it's exactly the same, actually.
Yeah. But that's beautiful. That's the way that you really create your own medicine, actually.
Yeah. And my way of doing, because I tried the Reiki.
Yeah.
That was not for me. They did it in Thailand in 14 days. And after 4 days, I was like, oh God, I had it. I couldn't. It was too much of too fixed for me. I didn't like it at all. It was like too much like, okay, this needs to be done. These are the symbols. And I remember going to the master, and I was like, seriously, I don't think this. She was like, yeah, but no, you're amazing. I know you should do this. And I was like, I'm sick and tired of your symbols. Like, I don't want to be like, I need to do.
Yeah.
No. And then she was like, okay, do it on me. And after half an hour, she was like, okay, you should stop. You should do. Yeah. She immediately said, like, I understand, you should do your thing. And because you did things that I actually didn't learn you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't understand. I was like, what is she talking about? Because I was just in the beginning of it. At that time, I was going to Thailand, and I'm back to Belgium, and Thailand, and back to Belgium. So I could like see my evolution.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. All right. And the next question, what was the response of family and friends when you choose to walk this way?
Let's say it was, yeah, that was really heavy. So I kind of lost all my friends, and it's not like, it's not losing. It doesn't work like that. But at that time, it really felt that way. Like they couldn't, they couldn't get what I was talking about or what I was saying that I could feel. And also sometimes, because especially when you decide to really intimately connect with someone, or very deep connection, and you don't know that much yet about energy, I often couldn't like say, is this my energy? Is it there? What is this? Is this karmic? Is it not karmic? So it was a lot of confusion and also them becoming angry and me thinking, oh, maybe I felt wrong or stuff like that. But in the end, I lost them all. And now I understand also why, and that actually it was meant to be. Like, this was not something I could stop. It's just part of the process. And luckily, this is also, if I see this happening with clients who start to really feel into themselves and becoming themselves, I can tell them, like, there's no good or wrong in this. Know that you're developing and other people will come.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a bad thing. Family, that was a small disaster. But yeah, like when I started to go to Southeast Asia, that was already like, what the fuck? But when I came back and I started to do all these things, the Pilates was still okay, but the healing, I know yeah. But I have to say, it really changed. Actually, from the moment like 4 or 5 months ago, when I started to change the healings, the way I was doing the healings, the way I was doing the channeling, and changing from Pilates to Fascia, I was like so certain that I also started to become very kordaat, more, how do you say that in English?
Bold, I would say.
Bold,
Yeah,
like more putting up the boundaries towards like everyone around me. And I realized in December, the beginning of December, that now it was the turn for my family. That was like the last thing I had to do. And I put it down very firmly. But I have to say, it took some time. But now I can honestly say that there is way much more respect. There's way much more, like, they try to like ask questions or like, what is it exactly? And I feel that despite the fact it frightens them, or they are like, despite that, I feel they are really doing their best. It's not that they're laughing at me openly when we're eating or stuff like that. That's like not happening anymore. So I really am like, okay, this has shifted. We're on this spot now. Thank you. It took some years, but hey, we're there. But in the beginning, it was hell. It was really, really hell. I felt so alone. If I had my uncle, if I would not have had my uncle, at the moment that everything started to shift and like all this input came in and I started feeling things that I couldn't like place. And at that time I didn't have had that healer yet. If my uncle would not have been there, I would not be here. I honestly, there were few moments where I was like, this is too much. I'm gonna like I don't want to be here anymore. It's too much. I cannot place it. Doesn't make sense. This is not reality. This is like, it was way too much. And my uncle, he gave me a space where I could like be. He never asked or never demanded anything of me, and I could stay there for a while. And it was in that period that I could go to the forest a lot, which I realized afterwards was really necessary. And he helped me through it without saying anything. He just sat by me, and if I wanted to talk, then he talked. And if I didn't want to talk, he just stayed sitting next to me while I was eating or drinking a tea, or like, he was amazing. He's still amazing, by the way. I still go there. But it was hell. Yeah, it was definitely, sometimes still is, but I already know like how to get myself back there.
But I can imagine that it's a lot if you have somebody that's holding space for you to just be yourself, allow yourself to. Big lesson.
It's an angel in disguise.
It is. Well, thank you to your uncle.
I'm still very grateful for what he has done.
Are there any like blockages that you would like to share that you really faced in your progress?
Now?
During your path, maybe like the most difficult things that really were like
speaking my truth. Like I was, because you feel so much, I was very good in being exactly the person that I could feel that people want me to be. So you can imagine with friends, like all of a sudden I was like, I'm not going to be that person anymore.
Yeah.
How they reacted. And I think that has been the most challenging one. This is like, just speaking what is really there. And now I realize with clients, I started a YouTube channel like just now about energy advice.
Yeah.
And I remember recording last week and I was thinking, like two years ago, you would not have even thought of thinking, like saying this out loud. And now you're just like putting it on the web. So like this has fully changed. Also, when I'm outside and I'm at a network event or whatever, and someone is like, I don't believe in that shit. And I was like, I didn't ask you to believe in that shit, but it's good that you heard it already. If you hear it a few times, then maybe you're not going to be so frightened anymore. Like I really like say it. And before that, I would have been like, okay, I'll go to the next group. And now I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. It's good that you heard it.
Yeah, at a certain point you have to. It's
But that blockage, I think that's the most important thing. And also, like now I feel I'm seeing way much more of the whole nature spirit realm. I don't know, I have to. Like I really feel
like the hierarchy almost, like just how everything works, the structure of.
The structure was already before, but now it's like I see the world of we call it all the Volk, and I see like the dragons, and I see this the spirits. It's not spirits, like creatures that live in earth. I see the creatures that live in trees. I see creatures that are just like everywhere on buildings. Really amazing to see. Like that's for me something that I feel now that I'm breaking through. And it's starting to they are opening up to me on the most crazy moments that I'm like, not the time now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do. And I learned so much from them.
Yeah.
Like my parents, they cut down this walnut tree.
Yeah.
And I was so angry. And I even realized, I was really astonished about my own reaction. I was going bazookas about it. And I remember trying to hold it a little bit down, but from the moment my mother started talking about it, it was like, and crying and screaming. And I was like, what, Saskia, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. But like, it was so intense. But it was also because of what I saw that those creatures were showing me. And it's just like recently that I realized that there was a whole group of creatures working on energy, and they used the tree to let it, like, even for kilometers away. And because of seeing that, I was like, now I understand why I was going so bazookas. Like, my family has cut down the most, like, powerful energy that they were thriving on.
Yeah.
And now it's gone. Like, they just got it. And then, like, when I met them the last time, I could feel that I was feeling so bad about the fact that I could not stop this. And then I got like, that's so beautiful about those creatures. They're like, they never blame you. They can't become angry. Like on the moment that I was standing the first time on the tree, there were actually 3 creatures trying to attack me. You human. And then they were like, it's her. No, we cannot be angry at her. Like it's really, it was very interesting. But now they came and they left Earth because the task that they had, they cannot do anymore. And I'm still getting emotional about it, because if we humans would know like what they bring and how immensely necessary it is, I'm like, ugh. And it's like, I see this happening all the time. Like creatures, they come, they have a task, they really give their whole life for it. And I know this sounds a little bit like, okay, reality, but it is like this. They give their life to like help us, like support us with the energy that they can. And then we like just, cut it down or just kill it or the. And I'm like, do you understand what you're doing? So actually, that's why I try to keep myself as sane as possible to hope more and more, and I see it's changing to make people more aware of like, I know you cannot see it like I see it, but it's not okay what you did. And my mother, the craziest thing is that my mother, on the moment that I was going bazookas, she said like, I felt it too.
Yeah,
and I was
wow.
like, what? And I like, and she was like, yeah, I felt it too. I felt it on the moment we were discussing it. I felt it on the moment that they were cutting it down, that it was not okay.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
that's the thing. I realized my mother is so powerful, but in this life, she decided not to speak up.
Yeah.
She decided if the men were like, let's cut down the tree, then we have all the wood and it's good for whatever. if that happens, that she's like, okay. And then I was like, I'm not gonna be that. Like, no. Like, I feel it, and I'm gonna go bazookas about it because it's not okay. Voila.
No, but it is, you have to speak up when you notice. Yeah, same
So
for
this
me.
is fully shifting.
Yep, but I start to notice as well, as soon as you really speak up for it, that's when things change. And yeah, you
And the
really,
respect goes up.
yeah.
Like, I was really crying.
Yeah, but it's normal. I can,
Like in front of everyone, and I know that because it's so, yeah, it just cannot be purer than it already is. Like, I was really crying out of what I could see and feel. So okay, people were like, what the hell is happening here? But they see it's I'm not faking it. I'm
yeah,
not drawing attention or something. It's just like, it just comes out. It is as it is. So yeah.
Yeah, but I can relate to it. I had it when they started with the new president in Brazil, when they were burning down the rainforest in huge amounts. I was at the
Yeah,
bar.
really.
I started to cry behind the bar, and I was really freaking out to my colleagues and everything. Like, do you realize what's happening? But yeah, it's. But I can relate to your story very much. That's as
That's
well.
crazy.
When we go and drink trees as well, you ask permission. Like, you seal the energy off of the parts that you take, and like there is a whole process that goes with it in respect towards the tree that you want to drink or connect to, and it has to
Yeah,
stay.
look, they show it because
Yeah,
they cut down, I think, 7 trees in the whole area of the
yeah,
farm. And I told her, like, all the rest, that was okay. This one was not. Like, and because then they're like, oh, about your trees. And that's how I realized that there's something more, because I'm not grieving the rest, because from them I got like, it's okay. Like,
yeah.
we've done our task or something, like that was okay. But that's indeed, you have to communicate. Is it okay? Herbs, is it okay if I take? No, someone has already taken enough. Okay, go to another place.
It is. It is. No, people really have to learn to read the energies and nature again. It's reconnect. It's very
Well,
important.
in essence, people first of all need to learn to reconnect with themselves, and then nature comes by itself.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I realized the more I started to really feel myself, the more I was really feeling what was going on in myself, and not being so hard on myself all the time.
yeah.
The more I was like, am I feeling this tree? What is this? Like, it just like came with it. So that's why I wanted to, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm like, people need to learn to connect with themselves. And when they're open to it, I'm there to support.
Yeah,
I
sweet.
hope that they will. And I see already big changes around me, and especially the people who come to this center. It's amazing.
Nice. Keep up the good work.
Always.
Uh, what were the things like that for you pushed you forward in the most difficult moments? Like specific, like if you really freak out or there are some things going on that you have a hard time like accepting or believing it, or if you're going through stuff that you don't really realize what is going on exactly, how do you deal with it for yourself?
Well, actually, that the story I told you about the clients who after a session totally lost it, which is also a process that, which I understand, it's just necessary for her to have. It's like something that could not be avoided, but still it touched me because of all the reactions around me. It's a whole process. It's like I know what the process is, but when you're in so deep, you're like, oh fuck. But
Oh,
you need it. You need those moments where you're like feeling down and you're like doubting yourself and fear comes up because let's face it, I'm in Belgium where doing this kind of work is not normal.
yeah.
And I'm really putting myself out there, and I get a lot of shit. It's often very hidden, but I know how this world and especially how people in Belgium think. So I was like, I know how people are going to react,
Yeah.
especially the ones who are so afraid for what I stand for. And then, yeah, all these old triggers of old pain, they come up. And I know, okay, this is a moment that you have to be with you, yourself, and your eye.
Yeah.
And then I go to the forest, or I do a lot of fascia movements. And for instance, for this, to really, of the thing that happened, to be come to myself again, I did 3 hours of like slow dancing, fascia movement, and then the stretch that I know is going very deep on the point, where I used to have a huge entity, which I know that is still a kind of a trigger point, because I was like, okay, I need to get this fixed, like not fixed, but this needs to be cleared out. And if I'm going to do the stretch and I feel it's still there, I'm going to keep repeating it today till I feel that something is releasing. So I continued doing it for 2 hours and a half, and then I had my release. Wow. And I know that it needs to be a release in which you're crying, like the way of releasing emotionally, that you cannot stop yourself anymore. Not just a little cry, but really like shaking and like everything. And then it's incredible how you feel this calmness coming over you. And it's like a renewed energy. And it's by doing that I know, okay, this is what I should do if I feel like this. But before that, I feel down, and then anger comes up. That's a good one. If I have anger, then I'm getting so sick and tired of it. Then I'm like, okay, let's do the 2 or 3 hours that I need. That's my trick. And the anger actually gives me energy to do it.
Yeah. It's really a tipping point. There's no point of return. You just go and do it, and that's it. Yeah.
And for me, it was the anger of like, nobody is going to keep me away from what I'm planning on doing here, or what I'm supposed to do here. That was it. And also, I'm not going to keep myself away. Actually, that was the biggest trigger point. Like, you're fucking yourself. Don't. Yeah. So that's why I keep all these blocks out also, for instance. Like, my planning is every day I have a minimum of 3 hours where nothing is booked. For moments like these that I can say, my time. Stay out. I need to clear out something. That's I need it.
No, but it is, and I think many people are just struggling with it. So it's really nice that we can share our own experiences as well in these interviews. Just to give
Sometimes I also go for intense dancing, a rave. That also helps.
Really like party, you just go party and
just like leave me all alone. I'm just gonna dance. And I notice when I have some kind of release or more into myself, I start to attract people again, but like nice people, not like, I mean, like people are happy and they laugh at me. Then I know, okay, my energy is back. In going out, then I know. But when I'm really down, I don't go out because there's too much input.
Yeah, but it is. I do the same, and then I just want to work on it for myself instead of going out and socialize and encounter all kinds of things that are not necessarily in the way, you know.
Going out is mostly when I feel I'm a little bit, and then you pull yourself through in a few seconds. But the other one is really when something very deep has been triggered. That's different. Yeah.
So you would say that this is actually your formula to really invigorate joy and good energy in your daily life? No?
Every morning I have 1 hour that I'm fixing dancing and fascia every morning.
Yeah.
I need it. It's if you take this away from me, I'm very what?
Really no break, like 7 to 7 every day, hardcore. That's nice. That's cool.
But like from 7 to 8 or from 7:30 to 9, or like at least 1 hour.
Yeah, but I
I
mean 7 to 7,
very
like
frankly, if you
every
take
day.
this away from me. Hmm?
I mean, like every day, 7 to 7, like 7 days on 7.
Yeah, that's yeah. Every day.
We,
I need
yeah, that's
movement and
awesome.
like tuning in and how do I feel. And I
No.
work with people every day. And
Yeah, but then you have to keep yourself in check as well if you have to
yes,
help somebody else. You can't do it when you're not doing your own work. Eh? That's yeah.
that's true. And then when stuff like this happen, you can actually manage it. It's
Yeah.
like on the moment that it was busy, and I remember telling myself, okay, when this is done, you'll have more time for yourself. We're gonna make more time for yourself. But now keep your grounding, stay like, and because I knew like things are being triggered in me, but I cannot like because the family is there and stuff is happening. Oh, and like I was but then afterwards I really gave myself some space. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Sounds awesome. It's yeah, it's really nice actually to hear your story full on now because yeah, I already knew you for a while from the climbing gym and then doing some work with you, but now to hear the full spectrum in a nutshell, it's
Yeah.
something.
I I I I realize often when I speak to people who are actually open to it, which not it has not been that much, but that they are like, wait, what? Like, what else is there? Like, it's and I honestly I feel when I'm speaking with people, doesn't matter where, that I often have something like, you have no clue who I actually am.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
even when you look at social media, you cannot know who I am.
No, it is.
Like,
It is.
I'm not just that person. I'm not just like it's on social media. You decide what they see. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it always takes time to get to know someone though. So if you're just scanning a Facebook
Yeah.
page, you never get to see the full picture. That's
Yes.
kind of logical.
Yes.
And is there any advice that you would like to give to people that navigate similar roads on their journey, just like you?
You need time alone.
Mm.
I have a client now. But she is so powerful. And the crazy stuff is that I know if she would be telling her story that they would be like, okay, it's time for you to be locked down. But she is so beyond measure powerful, and she has an addiction, and she like if she talks to you, you feel that she's like very afraid. And but I'm like, and then often she's like, yeah, but I'm going away with my partner, and then I'm meeting friends, and I'm like, stop doing this shit. Like, be alone, like go to places alone. Okay, you can still see your partner and still see your friends, but the thing is that she is her whole planning is with work and friends, and like there's no space alone. For me, the most difficult thing that I had to learn was to be able to be alone with myself for 1 2 3 days in a forest.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
first times I did that was like really hell. I was constantly calling people. But now I'm like, leave me alone. But that I would say, like, you need time alone, because it's in true time alone that things can come up.
yeah.
Like, if I would not have taken those 3 hours, I would not have had all those insights.
Hmm.
Like, I'm really like, whoa, like I'm gonna even take less shit now because I got this piece of the puzzle now. So
Yeah,
it's totally different. So take time alone and give yourself space to get to know yourself, because the more you get to know yourself, we all have our flaws. Like,
mm,
I know I'm the person who I need to do things in order to learn. If you give me a manuscript, I'm not interested. Like, really, I don't like it when people do that. This is handwritten, here you have it. Ugh. I noticed that if like in the mentorship program from the Fascia Academy, I'm like, so I don't read it and
yeah.
I do it. This is my way of learning, and I sometimes get a lot of shit about that. Like, it was in the manual, and I'm like not in the not in the academy, by the way. They are really not like that. But for instance, when I took other courses,
Yeah.
get to know yourself. Like, how do you learn? What are your triggers? What is really, really important for you? I remember being in relationships where I always like numbed those things, but in the end, it comes back like a boomerang, bam. Okay, maybe it was important. So yeah, I really know. And I had someone who came over to my house. He stayed for 2 days, and he was like, "My God, you're so clear." I was like, yeah, clear in the things that are really necessary for me. All the rest, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. But
Mhm.
these things, nah, don't touch it. Don't like, no.
It
This
is.
is
It is.
like a necessary thing for me to feel okay in my own house. And he
Yeah.
was like, I love it. Which was amazing. But yeah, get to know yourself. And the more you get to know yourself, nobody can touch you anymore. Like
Hmm.
it's incredible, and you become so certain that when they're like, oh, you're exaggerating, no, you feel wrongly. Oh, they're so good in that. Hi, it's wrong what you feel. Then you're like, no, it's not. Like
Yeah.
I'm spot on. And or you want to address this
Hmm.
or not, but we're not going to discuss this because it's so clear.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they cannot try to manipulate anymore or intimidate or like try to take you off what you actually felt was right. Or spot on. So that's my advice. Get to know yourself. And in order to get to know yourself, you have to become very uncomfortable with being yourself.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome message and really valuable.
You're welcome.
So, where do you see the future self of you? Like, imagine where would you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Okay, I want to have more centers and more places of like the second building that I want to have, where there's the food and then the area with the crystals and so on. I really want to like merchandise, like how you say that, not
Yeah.
an
Go ahead,
IKEA, but
expand,
like
go.
I
Expand
want
it.
to have several spaces whenever I feel it's the moment for it, it's time to spread.
Yeah. 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 Nice.
Because I'm like, it's time that this energy comes out. I also want to involve the creatures that I see. Like I'm now sculpting a dragon, and I want to have them in the building also. Like, no, I'm like, it's time.
Yeah.
And when I feel this is centered in Ghent,
Mm-hmm.
and I already feel it's going to be a success because it's nowhere to be found what I'm going to create. And when I feel, okay, this in a city of Ghent is working, then I'm going to start looking where else in Belgium they are ready. And if I have to wait 10 years, I don't care. I'm going to become very old in this life, so I have time. But I
No.
want to like, no, it's time to spread.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm going to keep on living in Belgium,
Yeah.
but I do want to like in this region start. It's time.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And it's a region that really needs it. So that's awesome to hear that.
It's the most challenging one that I had so far, but yeah.
Small
In
country.
Thailand, it would have been easy, just easy. It's already there. Everybody is doing healing centers and so on. So
No, but it is still for a small country. There's a lot of work to do.
there is, but it's. I'm very positive about it, and also I feel that from of the springtime is coming now. It's going to be everything is opening up. So yeah, from now on, I just see it moving forward. Okay, I will have my stuff. I'm also learning, but yeah, that's the intention.
Right. Awesome, man. I wish you really a lot of luck and good fortune. It's awesome idea.
For you too, with the business.
Thank you, thank you. It's already amazing to see it grow in a year like it has done now. If I wouldn't have my wife kicking me off yeah, I wouldn't say off the ledge. It's really she threw me off a mountain, but yeah, I'm really
Little,
happy she did it.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. You I support each other, and then you can grow together. And that's
No,
what's
it is, and it's wonderful to see now as well. Like she had completely her own style, Akashic Records, and she does hypnose work as well. And now she started to heal with her hands and angel healing actually that she's doing. But then I
yeah.
was the guy with the plants, and now I noticed that I wasn't visual at all. It was all feeling and hearing for me. And now by being together with her, doing her work, like I'm becoming more visual, and she's becoming more sensitive. and hearing more clear. And it's like we're taking each other's skills over and we're mingling it like one now. It's amazing.
You're learning, huh? Yeah. You're learning from
Yeah,
each other, and also
yeah,
your energy, because yeah, you're partners, eh? You're intimate, so your energy is also mixing, eh? You're yeah. That's the
yeah.
beauty of having two souls who decide, okay,
It is.
go.
Yeah. Yeah, the
That's
twin flame concept, it was far from my bed, but now that I see the magic in my own life, it's crazy. Damn
and you
hard.
cannot go back, eh? Once you're in it,
No,
there's no way
no,
back.
this is the one that this was the way that I needed to go. So like, if you don't do this, you're not doing what you need to do. And then yeah, okay, yeah, just do it.
Yeah, yeah. And
Look,
just go.
mhm.
Along the way, you'll find your answers always.
It is, and then if you watch back, we actually gave up life a good year ago, a little bit longer than a year ago, and really left with nothing. Left Belgium goodbye, take the daughter with us, and like just see where it brings us. And every day, just have trust that everything will unfold like it's supposed to be unfolding. It was one hell of a crazy journey in the way that it demanded trust in who you are, what you're supposed to do, and yeah, the help that you have around you, your guide, and everything that you need to do. It's crazy. I'm still lacking words to express myself clear in
No,
it.
but has been already a nice overall view of how it is. But it's true. Trust is everything.
Yeah,
If you lose that, you go off the path. But you can always come back. It's like,
it is. That's the beauty of it.
not always, but often when you didn't go too far, you can always come back.
It is.
Yeah.
But if it's not in this life, it's in next life. You get another
Yeah,
opportunity.
voilà, also. Yeah.
There's always opportunities.
Always. Okay.
So, Saskia, thank you. I think I still have one question for you. It's like, would you still like to share anything today with anybody who's listening that you really think like, damn, I really need to get this out?
Don't take it all too serious.
Yeah, nice. I love that one.
Really not. It's like I notice when I'm too that when I start to be more humoristic or more joking or with a smile having an interview or doing my videos on YouTube, I notice like, yeah, okay, chill. It's really not all that bad. And it gives actually energy when you're not taking it too seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's still something I sometimes need to start like repeating to myself, but it's a
It
good
really
thing to
takes practice, huh?
it's a practice.
Wow.
So that's it. That's the advice.
Thank you. Really, thank you for spending your time with us and sharing your story. And
Thank you for interviewing me.
with pleasure. It's really nice to bring the community together and to start networking. Like, we really have to come together and do this all together, man. None of us are meant to do this alone as well.
It's always a together story.
It is, it is. Well, thank you, Saskia.
Okay.
And,
You're welcome. Bye.
take care. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, remember to subscribe and like. It really helps us out with the algorithms and to get the words out, because we really want to connect more community and networking within this world. And like, we really need each other. Never meant to do this alone. So this is my stone that I like to bring with these talks to you guys. Thank you all. And I hope you enjoyed the episode, and see you guys next time. Also, don't forget, because we are actually publishing from now on our own monthly magazine. The idea is to create a holistic magazine, or we created a holistic magazine that brings actually the old and the new together, where we really want to create this bridge, yeah, between science and the etheric planes. And not only this, but really like from a place of curiosity, go on our own discovery, to learn to think for ourselves, and to stay open for yeah, many things that maybe are not at all as we thought they were. Or yeah, how could you say, if you're not open, then how do we even grow? So check out here in this link. You can find everything you want to know about our monthly magazine and find the subscriptions. And this is as well a big support to us. And in this way, we can make more of this content. So thank you all. I'll see you soon.